Hi, I'm Denise Simpson, a master life and leadership coach who helps women step into their authentic and feminine power so they can lead like visionaries, influence with grace, and create a legacy of contribution and service. You'll hear about real leadership clients with real problems, navigating their success in life, business, and career. If you're ready to become a masterful leader, then this podcast was made for you. So let's get started. Hi there, leader. Let's talk about the cost of leadership. The cost of leadership is your discomfort. See, nobody talks about that. We're all talking about the perks. We're talking about the benefits. We're talking about the salary increase. We're talking about the status of a leader. But not a lot of us leaders are talking about what it's actually costing us to lead. And that is discomfort. It is costing us our discomfort. Because there's nothing like leadership that will bubble up all of your limiting beliefs, all of your bias, all of your prejudice, all of your discriminatory tendencies. Leadership will bring everything out when you may have thought it was resolved or that you didn't have those tendencies, but leave it to interaction, to developing relationships with your employees to help you realize there are blind spots in your neurology. There are things that were hidden under the surface. And it wasn't until a circumstance presented itself that you realized you have a concern. There is a problem. And it is in how you are thinking about that situation or in how you are thinking about that employee. So I believe that leadership is a privilege. Not just anyone can lead, although you bring them over to me and I will train them and develop them into masterful leaders. No doubt about that. But not everybody deserves to lead humans. Not everyone should have that right. And so when we come into leadership with that mindset, that leadership is a privilege, then we start looking at our behaviors very differently. We start looking at our own limiting beliefs differently. We start looking at our capacity to lead our people. We then start questioning, are we good enough for this? Do we deserve this right? Are we here to do good by our employees? And if I'm not, then what do I need to do to prepare myself? Because I do want this privilege. I do want to be bestowed with this position and with this title. And yes, all those beautiful perks and benefits that you get as a leader. But I'm willing to do the work. And I'm willing to get uncomfortable. I'm willing to look under the hood of my brain so that I could see why I'm behaving the way I'm behaving with an employee. Why am I reacting this way when an employee challenges my direction? I want to better understand why I keep creating these financial results in my workplace. Why am I being overextended? Why am I burnt out? Why am I on the verge of leaving this organization? What is happening in my neurology? What is happening in my thinking? Because here we are taking lots of action, but sometimes this action is driven by a very negative belief. It could be driven by a very negative emotion, right? A lot of us people pleasers, we take on extra things and we put extra things on our leadership plate because we don't want to look like we're not cooperative, that we're not team players. So then we go and overextend ourselves to the point of exhaustion and being on the verge of burning out. And so a lot of our actions are driven by some very interesting neurology. And so it's our responsibility to look at what exactly is driving us. What is the mindset that is propelling my actions and the results I'm creating in my workplace? Why do I keep repeating the same result? Why do I keep repeating the same behaviors everywhere I go? And so what we get to do is look at our neurology. we look at those limiting beliefs, we look at that mindset, we look at those values that are unconscious to us right now. We look at all the things, all the layers of socialization, why we behave the way we behave, and we challenge that. We question that. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because I bet a lot of you up until this point have not been challenged by a coach, have not been challenged by someone who has the experience to identify your blind spots, to show you where you are capping your own potential, right? Because you're right here with your abilities. This is the current set of abilities that you have. But so many of us are looking into the future and we want more and we want to move into more. But the capacity that we have is beyond our reach right now because of our limiting beliefs. All comes back to your mindset. So this is what we get to do inside the Institute. This is what we get to do in our coaching. We get to look at that discomfort that's happening. We also get to look at giving ourselves permission to disrupt this neurology, to say, okay, this will no longer serve me. This way of thinking, this way of believing, this particular bias, this particular prejudice, or this particular discriminatory tendency can no longer move with me into this new capacity. I'm going to have to leave this behind. That's what we get to do in leadership. We get to challenge status quo in your neurology. We get to give ourselves permission to disrupt. So I want for you to ask yourself, don't I owe it to myself and to my followers to do this work? Am I in this line of work, in this particular position, because it is a privilege, because I am honored and I've been bestowed with this title, with this position, with this authority to influence people? Don't I owe it to myself and them to get a little uncomfortable? And if the answer is yes, then move forward with how. How do I proceed with this? Where do I go? Who do I turn to for help? Well, I will always direct you, especially if you are a woman leader. I will always point you towards the Institute where we get to do all the self-awareness work, because you can take all those actions, my friend, and you can burn yourself out. But if we're not looking at the mindset that's propelling every action, every decision, every result in your life and leadership practice, if you're not doing that for yourself right now, then I would probably question the impact of your leadership right now. How effective are you because of your current mindset, because of your current level of self-awareness or lack thereof? So I will always direct you into the Institute to do this great work. So, my friend, the cost of leadership is your discomfort for the sake of evolving, for the sake of growing, for supporting and leading and influencing your employees. This is the great work that we get to do because of the privilege that we have as leaders. So, as always, I want to hear from you. I want to serve you better. So share with me your comments, your questions, your concerns about the cost of leadership for you, being discomfort, being uncomfortable in your neurology, being uncomfortable in your thinking, challenging your belief systems, all for the sake of growing and expanding as a leader. Share with me your feedback. Would love to hear from you. Comment below or look for me on social media. LinkedIn is where I primarily hang out, and you can find me at Dr. Denise Garcia Simpson. All right. I'm wishing you a fantastic rest of your day, leader, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take good care. Hey, leader, do you want weekly leadership tips, coaching, and training straight to your email inbox? Yeah, I thought so. Head over to drdenisesimpson.com/leadership. Again, that's drdenisesimpson.com/leadership. Just submit your name and your email address, and we'll get started right away. I look forward to serving you inside your email inbox. See you soon.